we left it last night, we saw Duryodhana speaking to the Guru, the great Dronacharya. And we saw where when there is absence of faith in Bhagwan, that absence of faith, that void, that vacuum, where there is absence of faith, that is usually immediately filled with fear. So he had no faith in Bhagwan Sri Krishna. He was having faith in Bhishma. Means not faith in God, but something lesser than God. But people have faith in all sorts of things in this world. People have so much faith in all sorts of things except God. The Lord who is the sustainer and support of this universe. That Lord we don't have faith in, but we have faith in all other worldly, little, transient kind of things, like that. So, Duryodhana was of this type. And so, from the beginning itself, when he starts speaking, we see the element of fear coming through his words. He looks on the other side, and he has greater numbers, but still he is afraid of 11 to 7. 11 on this side and 7 on that side. That was the ratio. But even though he has greater numbers, still he is afraid of that lesser number on the other side, because some very important element is missing. The faith in Bhagwan. And that is what Arjuna had, and that's why he chose Bhagwan, and that's why Bhagwan was on that side. So when Bhagwan is on our side, when the Lord is on our, when we say Bhagwan is on our side also, we have to take care. We qualify that statement. It is not so much whether Bhagwan is on our side, but whether we are on Bhagwan's side. That is the important thing. This statement is credited to Abraham Lincoln, but I don't know if it is true. Somebody has to research that. And sometimes people like to put some quote there and put somebody's name there, anything. So, we have to be on Bhagwan's side. Arjuna was on Bhagwan's side. In other words, Bhagwan has come to protect dharma. He has come to support dharma, to put dharma on a firm footing. And that is what he'll be doing. I have to join him in that battle to put dharma on a firm footing. So Arjuna joined Bhagwan. Duryodhana joined these other Drona, Bhishma, Ityadi, like that. So we saw fear coming through his heart, and he starts recounting the Solyas on the other side and the Solyas on his side, and then he concludes by saying that our army is aparyaptam. Aparyaptam means it is invincible, unconquerable, and their army is conquerable, paryaptam. We could easily surround them and ambush them and demolish all of them. That is what he was thinking in his mind, because he says paryaptam. So, I told last night that any sort of positive thinking or negative thinking also is not to be encouraged in our mind. We are realists, in every sense of the word. Realist in every sense of the word, not just we try to be positive or we try to be negative and all. No, that you don't have to do actually. Your mind, without trying, it will happen. People will be positive or negative. He's too much positive now. He's thinking that because we are having Bhishma on our side, the invincible Bhishma, we will flatten them. But in the end, you all know what happened. Who got flattened? Kauravas got flattened. Duryodhana and his cohorts. They were the ones who lost the battle, even though they had greater number. So, his final conclusion was, and this is, you see, a misinterpretation of things, miscalculation of things. How many things were there in his head? One is, Bhishma is on our side. Bhishma is invincible. Nobody can conquer Bhishma. Bhishma had, what is that called? The ability to die when he so desired. Nobody could kill Bhishma. Ichamaran. Ichamaran means I will die when I want it. They might disable me and all that, and not be able to fight. But dying, I will decide when to die. That is Bhishma's power. That is why he was put on that bed of arrows. His body was pierced with arrows from every side by Arjuna. And that happened in Dakshinayana. He waited until that sun went to Uttarayana, which is now. He was shot way back. He waited till the sun turned because he could decide when he'll go. So this Duryodhana, thinking that Bhishma is on my side. So that first faith was in Bhishma. Second faith, we have greater numbers. So his faith secondly is in numbers. But let me tell you something. The only place number has count is in democracy. Wherever there is democracy and stupidity are synonyms. That is the only place where numbers count. So, and in this regard, with regard to numbers, let me tell you one thing. Greater numbers do not make something right. For instance, in satsang here, let us say we have 100 people, right? And over there, in a big fete, you have 1,000 people. Because here has 100 and there is 1,000 there, that doesn't make that thing right or better than what is going on here. If you invoke democracy, then that thing will be better, isn't it? Then we better go there too. If it is better, then we should also go there. A very famous example is at the time of Columbus. Columbus was the only one who said the world is round, spherical. And all the vast majority of Europeans, I shouldn't say humanity, Europeans, the vast majority of Europeans, they used to say the world is flat. And they tell him you're stupid. If you go too far over the ocean, you're going to fall down like Niagara Falls. So if the vast majority say the world flat, does that make the world flat? No. Please pay attention to all of this thing about numbers and statistics. People love statistics. Let me tell you a little bit about statistics. "100 men were going to the forest to cut woodcutters, for the whole village. So they took 2 women to cook for them while they were cutting wood. Right? While they were in the forest, 2 from these 100 men married these 2 women over there. When they came back to the village, every village will have some town crier or some, in those days, reporter. He will tell you, no? You know what was his report? 2% of the men married 100% of the women in the forest. That is true or not? It is true also, isn't it? 2% of the men married 100% of the women. But it's statistics, amazing thing. So statistics and numbers, you have to be very careful. So he was relying on this. We have greater numbers. So we'll faith in all the wrong things, I tell you. So he says, Paryaptam tidamyetesham balam bhima bhirakshitam. They are protected by bhima and they are paryaptam, conquerable. We'll surround them and we'll finish them. Now, as he is saying that, he is giving command now. Duryodhana is giving one more thing. He was not the commander-in-chief of the army. Bhishma was the commander-in-chief of the army. But he is giving command. In other words, he is overstepping his authority and power. See that now. This is number, which will be 11. Number 11. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. सर्वेषु यथा भागमवस्थिता श्रीकृष्णा
शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णा शरणं मम
भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु भवन्तः सर्व एव हि
श्रीकृष्णा शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णा शरणं मम
तस्य सञ्जनयन् हर्षं कुरु वृद्धपितामहः
श्रीकृष्णा शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णा शरणं मम
सिंहनादं विनद्यो जयशङ्खं दद्मो प्रतापवान्
श्रीकृष्णा शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णा शरणं मम
श्रीकृष्णा शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णा शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णा शरणं
मम
श्रीकृष्णा शरणं मम अयनेषु च सर्वेषु यथा भागमवस्थिताः. He tells, all of you soldiers who are here, wherever you are stationed in, whichever place you are commanding, all the commanders and all who are there, Bhishmam eva abhirakshantu. Bhishmam eva abhirakshantu. All of you, make sure that you protect Bhishma. It's a good command also. Telling everybody, Bhavanta sarva eva hi. From all sides, all of you, make sure that you take your time and protect Bhishma. So again, we are seeing how much faith he had in Bhishma, who I told you last night made a mortal mistake of being on Kaurava's side. So great faith. I'm telling everybody now, make sure you protect Bhishma. There's only one person in this world who is invincible. There's only one person in the world who is... I was supposed to have spoken on one name of Gurudev also. Today's name is Avinashi. Now when I'm talking about Bhagavan, Avinashine Namaha. Let me just tell you that and then we'll continue because now it becomes relevant. There's only one being in this universe who is Avinashi Tadvithi Sarvam Idam Tatam. Bhagavan's name is Avinashi. Gurudev's name is also Avinashi because he is one who has realized his oneness with Bhagavan. For the one who has not realized his oneness with Bhagavan, he is not Avinashi. Means he considers himself to be dying, that he will die. So Gurudev's name Avinasha. Avinasha. One who is imperishable, doesn't die, who doesn't wane and all that kind of thing. Avyaya and Avinashi, they are synonyms. Like so people will have names that are synonyms like also. Many of our names. Like Preeti and Pritam. Some Pritam and Preeti are the same. So he has many names which have very similar meaning. See, Avyaya means doesn't wane, doesn't. Avyaya. Avyaya will have a second meaning, doesn't change. But Avinashi doesn't have this meaning, doesn't change, it doesn't die. Like that. Where something may change, you change the color of your hair. Right? And others will die. Anyway, so that Avinashini Nama, this is the third name of Guru. So here, why I brought up is that Duryodhana was having the faith in that which is dying, in Bhishma. That who is not Avinashi. And in Bhagwan, who is Avinashi, he did not have any faith like that. That is the idea. This is the contrast. And I told in the beginning that in the heart of Duryodhana, the head of the Kaurava, Duryodhana, for those who did not listen on the previous days or who were not in the Yajna, Duryodhana is the eldest of the Kauravas, the Kaurava sons, 100 sons of Dhritarashtra was there. He was the eldest. And all of their names started with some do. You see, Sugun and Sat, that's Sa when it comes. Sugun, Satsang, Sagun. That's Sa when it comes in Sanskrit, that is auspicious. When that Do comes, that thing is the opposite. Like Duryodhan, Dushashan, his other brother was there. Durgun. Durgun means bad qualities. Like that. That Du and Dur. Dushanta, Dushashan, like all that. So, I told on one of the previous days that he had fear in his heart. Here is another verse which demonstrates that he has fear. Because people say, no, Swamiji, I don't think he had fear in his heart. You are reading all of that into, because it doesn't use the word fear here anyway. The word fear is not used. So you are reading it. Well, reading between the lines actually is a great art, You have to be able to read between the lines. For those who cannot read between the lines, they miss the obvious actually. They miss the most important things. Here's one more reason in this verse now why we say Duryodhana's heart was full of fear. Tasya sanjanayan harisham kuru vriddha pitamaha. Just now, in 2 verses prior to this one, we saw Duryodhana is saying, Aparyaptam tudametesham. Aparyaptam tudametesham. Balam bhima abhiraksham. Their army is conquerable. We'll flatten them. Just now you were saying, that means to say, it appears as though he has a lot of confidence, isn't it? That sounds like confidence or not? Duryodhana, we'll flatten those Pandavas. What is there? Nothing. It sounds like a lot of confidence. But see here, in order to cheer up and to inspire Duryodhana, Bhishma is telling now. No, why Bhishma will tell something to cheer him up? He's already cheered up and he's so confident that he's going to win. But Bhishma knows better. Bhishma knows better. He knows this fellow is on the outside. He's appearing to have confidence. On the outside he's saying that we are going to crush the Pandavas. But on the inside he's not believing it. So therefore this verse starts, Tasya sanjanayan harisham. In order to bring inspiration and joy and to cheer him up. This is the meaning sanjanayan harisham. Bhishma he knows deep down inside this Duryodhana is afraid. So to cheer him up, to bring inspiration to him, to bring joy to his heart. What does Bhishma do? Kuruvidda pitamaha, pratapavan. All these are adjectives of Bhishma. Pratapavan, kuruvriddha pitamaha. That glorious, pratapavan means one whose glory and name is spread very far. Pratap means greatness and glory, like that. In Trinidad, say paratap. Paratap is Bhojpuri. Bhojpuri and all. Pratapavan, Bhishma is called. One who's glorious. And he called us Kuruvriddha, the eldest among all the Kurus. Both sides, Pandavas and Kauravas. He was the eldest there. Kuruvriddha. And he called us Pitamaha, means the grandfather of all of them. This Bhishma. Means they considered him to be Bhishma. Himself did not have children, but he's considered. Let me tell you something. In Indian culture, things are a little bit different. First cousins are called as brothers. So Pandavas and Kauravas, they're brothers. Even today, if you go to India, today even, you will hear people introducing their cousin as their brother. It happens even today. So, like that, if my grandfather is there and his brother is there, he's also called as grandfather. Like that's how Bhishma became grandfather of everybody. Like that. What did Bhishma do to cheer up this? To cheer him up. Harsha means, become happy. To cheer up this Duryodhana. Even though Duryodhana is putting out in front that he's cheered up enough, What did he do? Simhanadam vinadyochaihi shankam dharmau pratapavan. Shankam dharmau. He blew his shank and he roared like a lion. Simhanadam. This Bhishma. So that when Duryodhana hears it. Duryodhana will feel some confidence. He was not feeling that thing. Though he's saying that we'll flatten them on the other side. So he roared like a lion, Simhanadam. And he blew his shankha. Here in this Bhagavad Gita, all the shankas have name, If anybody finds out the name of Bhishma's shankha, please tell me. I don't know the name. I've been thinking about it, but I haven't done much research also. But Bhagwan's shankha and Arjuna's shankha and Bhima's shankha and all, the name will be given just now. So, hearing this roar of Bhishma and the resounding sound of this shankha, Bhishma was hoping that he will inspire some joy in the heart of Duryodhana, whose heart he knew was failing on the inside, though on his face there was some show of confidence and all. This is a sad state of human beings. This is something which is very, what we are talking about here is not anything far-fetched. We are talking about what goes on every day. But, I also think that it is still good. Because if you don't start smiling outside, you will not bring a smile in your heart. You should smile outside. Even if the sky falls down, you still smile. If you don't act the part, you will not get the part. Smile, it doesn't matter. Take a cue from all of these flight attendants and stewardesses and air hostesses. They detest their job and all, but still they upward curve. You never see anyone, after the flight is over and they come out from customs and immigration, then you must watch them, downward curve. But it's good to keep smiling. So, Duryodhana actually was following this. Then what happened? See. This will be number 13. Tata shankhascha bheryascha panavanaka gomukhaha sahasaivabhyahanyanta sashabdastu mulo bhavat tata shvetairhayair yukte mahati syandane sthitao madhava pandava vasyaiva divyau shankhau pradadmatuh panchajanyam hrishikeshah devadattam dhananjayah paundram dadmau mahashankham bhimakarma vrikodaraha ananta vijayam raja kunti putro yudhishthiraha nakula sahadevascha Sughosamani pushpakau Sughosamani pushpakau. A wonderful thing which is being told here now. When Bhishma blew this shankha, then everybody blared forth with all their shankas and tabors and kettle drums and this and that, whatever they had. What is that? Trumpets and horns, and in those days, of course, there is cow horn. Cow horn they used to blow, or bull horn, whatever like that. So, they all, tata shankascha bheryascha panavanaka gomukhaha. Shankha, bherya, means that the tabors and panava, anaka, gomukha, all these different types of drums and kettle drums and tabors, and gomukha means horns, horns, literal horn. Gomukha means when they blow horn, they blow literally horn. Today we don't blow a horn, we blow a thing that we make and we call it a horn, isn't it? Horn means that really came from an animal. They were blowing that thing. Gomukha. So, but you see, a nice little point is there in all of this. The first one was blown. I mean, the blowing of all of these bugles and trumpets and horns and beating of drums and all that, right? That signifies the start of this war. But who was the one who blew the first one? Bhishma. That means he came from the Kauravas. Kauravas, it is a symbolic thing. Symbolic thing. It is always the bad guys who start the war, actually. It's the bad guys who initiate that thing. Good people really doesn't have any interest in fighting. You know, one more topic which is very important here. I'll tell you, because the whole issue of war has come here, right? The issue of war has come. And many people, when they read Bhagavad Gita, because Bhagavan is telling Arjuna to go and fight. So many people, when they read Bhagavad Gita, they say that Lord Krishna is propagating or promulgating war, violence, fighting, right? So I have to tell you a number of things. You please think very clearly and think very carefully. But there is Kaurava on this side and a Pandava on this side, right? They had some family feud and some sort of disagreement over land and kingdom, right? Bhagavan Sri Krishna happened to be friends of both sides. And prior to this war, Bhagavan had gone on a number of occasions trying to negotiate a peaceful settlement to this dispute. To negotiate a peaceful settlement on several occasions. But that negotiations fell through because, why? While the Pandavas were willing to relent, the Kauravas were unrelenting. They did not want to hear any terms or any proposal for any agreement. So how you will have peace if one side is not willing to negotiate? You can't. So Kauravas said, no, we will not give anyone as much land as can fit on the head of a pin even. Not even that much land. That's how much? 2 grain of sand. They will not even give 2 grain of sand. So, you can't have negotiation, then you can't have a peaceful settlement. So the first thing is, Bhagavan did not start this war. Bhagavan did not encourage the war. Bhagavan did not advise that there should be war. That was not his advice. His advice was there should be peace. That also leaves us with a very important important fact about life. You please pay attention to this now. There is no time in the history of human civilization when there were no wars. No time. Even in what we call, as Hindus, what we call a Satyuga. What we call a Satyuga, that time, in that Satyuga, 5 of the 10 avatars came in Satyuga. 5 of the 10 avatars came in one yuga. And that happened to be in Satyuga, where we say that there's supposed to be so much peace and so much tranquility and this and that. That time also, 5 avatars Bhagavan had to come 5 times in what we call a Mukhya avatar, main avatar, to do what? To settle the same sort of fighting and killing and all that kind of thing. Because there was somebody, Hiranyakashipu is threatening to take over the whole world, converting everybody. From now on, don't chant Vishnu name, Om Vishnave Namaha. But what you should chant? Om Shri Kashapave Namaha. So that time, he's trying to threaten you, take over the whole world. That time, the Lord also has to come. So, this sort of fighting and trouble and all sorts of things have always been. Mahabali, he came before that in Vaman avatar. The next one, Mahabali. Vaman avatar. Mahabali also had conquered even Indra's kingdom. Mahabali had to conquer Indra also, fighting. All happened in Satyuga. So this fact, simple fact, easy fact, what? War fighting and all of this is part and parcel of nature. I am also not warmonger or any such thing like that. I'm just telling a fact. You just look, and if you could tell me one time in human history when there were no, it's even the caveman days, right? One caveman, he invented a club. You know that club? Not the club, sports club or anything like that. Club to clubber people. And he could go there, next door in the next cave, and clubber his neighbors and him, and take away everything from that cave. Take over a cave. So he had 2 caves now. He could only stay in one, He could only stay in one cave, but he go there and clobber the next caveman and take away his cave too. You need caveman days. And that's how you have all tribal wars and fighting from tribes, from the very rudiments of civilization. You have tribes and fighting and war, tribal wars. Where is it not there? So now, given this fact that wars have always been there, and they are there now, because right now there's so much of fighting going on all about, right? And they will always be there, given that fact. Few things that you have to think about. One is, look, see here, Bhagwan and Arjuna on the Pandava side, they were not the ones to sound or to land the first blow, or to make the first sound or the cry of war. If they are bad guys or wicked guys, let them do it. When they do, then we will protect ourselves, because we have a right to protect ourselves. So that's symbolism I'm telling you. The first sound of war came from the Kaurava side. Bhishma was the one who blew. That is symbolic thing. Who blew it. The others may want to fight, but you don't. Some people say, we have to make a preemptory strike. Means what you strike first. Right? So if you strike first, you get them by surprise. But please remember, you get them by surprise now, but karma will take you by surprise too. Because karma, you could do whatever you want, you can escape karma. And do you know, I will tell you one more thing, in modern times, I have not studied war in ancient times, but in modern times, those people who make this preemptory strike and who do this type of thing, and yes, sometimes, like for example, you want to fight with that fellow, right? So you don't go and attack him, but what you do, you provoke him. You provoke that fellow. Or, you, on his side, have hog mango. So you go and you take one of the hog mango from his side and you throw it on your side, and then you blame him. Look, you see, your mango come on my side. Now that is justification for me too. There are many people in modern times, there are big countries who did that. They go and provoke other countries and all that kind of thing. Sometimes they themselves make the first attack and blame the next side. All these things happen. And I'm telling now, in modern times, the war that I have studied, and they have done that, they always lose. Anybody who do this kind of underhanded kind of thing, they always lose. So now, on this side, when Bhishma blew, then everybody blew their conches and all. Shankar, loudly. Sahasaiva bhyanyanta sasabdas tubulo bhavat. When the sound was heart-renting, the sound as though boomed in the sky and rented the air everywhere. The sound of all of these instruments being blown at the same time. Tata shvetayar yukte mahati sandane stitau madhava pandavaschaiva divyau shankar pradatmatuhu. And then, seated on there, the glorious chariot, mahati sandana. Sandana means a chariot. A great chariot, Bhagwan sitting there, and Arjuna on that chariot. And chariot, what type of chariot? Yuktaihi. Yukte shvetaihi hayaihi. Shvetaihi means, shveta means white. Haya means horse. So Arjuna's chariot was drawn by white horses, sign of purity. White horses. And what did they do? Madhava Pandava Shaiva. Madhava means Bhagwan Krishna. And this is, please pay attention to this. The first name of Bhagwan Shri Krishna used in Bhagavad Gita. The first name of Bhagwan Shri Krishna being used in Bhagavad Gita is Madhava. Nice thing for you to remember. That's why we started it today by chanting Keshava. What is that? Madhava name also came in that bhajan, which we are chanting. His Madhava name is here. Then Madhava, Krishna, and Pandava, Arjuna. What they did? Divyau Shankau Pradadmatuhu. They blew their respective Shankas. And in the next verse, Ved Vyasji also records the names of their Shankas. Panchajanyam Hrishikeshaha. Bhagavan Shri Krishna's conch was called as Panchajanyam. All very symbolic things, Those of you on one of the previous Indian trip to India, we saw Panchajanyam Shankh. That Shankha will have 5, what do you call them now? I don't know. Around the Shankhas, you have this little finger-like thing sticking out. There'll be 5, Panchajanyam, which is very much symbolic of the 5 elements, the 5 senses, the 5 pranas, the 5 which is resonating in the universe. Right? So that, what you call a Shankha itself will be Spota, which will be the Hiranyagarbha, and from that Hiranyagarbha, or the first manifestation, you have the 5 elements coming out like this. Space, air, fire, water, and earth. And who gives life to it? Who blows life into that shank to get the sound? Bhagwan. So Bhagwan is the one, the absolute Lord is the one who is blowing life into, if you want to say Maya, and then Maya is emanating in the form of 5 elements. Bhagwan blowing through, and when Bhagwan blows through, that Maya emanates in the form of 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, and earth. And that is what we are all made up from. So he blew that Shankha, signifying also a new order is going to take place. Because when the Lord blows, and through Maya, a new manifestation will take place. Means now there will be a change of power. Kauravas will go, Pandavas will come. And that's only the way the Lord operates. Things go and things come. Everything that has come will also go, that's what to say. Panchajanyam. I'm just telling you some symbolism behind the lines, but Bhagwan blew his shank, which is called as Panchajanyam. And Arjuna's Shankha, Devadattam. Devadattam means given by the Devatas. Devadattam, given by the Devatas. It means that Arjuna was blessed. Even in Trinidad, we use, let me tell you something. These are all Sanskrit words, right? But all of these Sanskrit words have somehow traveled down into Hindi and then traveled from Hindi down into Bhojpuri, and that's what we brought from India, no Bhojpuri. People who live in Trinidad were Bhojpuri speaking. So it traveled down from Sanskrit into Hindi and then into Bhojpuri. And so we still have retained many of these words in our names and different places you'll see. Like a Devadattam means given by the Devatas, right? Arjuna Shankha. So you will see that, have you heard? Look here. Basdev. Basdev, you have heard? Krishna Day or Krishna Datt, Ram Datt. So Devadatta. You hearing it close? Har Day. That the in Sanskrit means to give. So long ago, when a child is born in this family, they'll say that this child is Krishna Datt, means given by Krishna. This child came from. See, even the name, how is so significant. Krishna Datt, Ram Datt. Ram gave this child to us. Or Har Day, Lord Shiva gave this child to us. Like that. Basdev. Where Basdev come from? Bas means Vasudev. Vasudev gave this child, like that. So, these words from Bhagavad Gita, they have come down into our local language also. So, Devadattam Dhananjayaha, Arjuna's name was Dhananjayaha. One of his name. Dhananjayaha means one who has conquered a lot of wealth. Arjuna nobody had conquered so much wealth and brought into that kingdom like Arjuna. You go and conquer there and take all the wealth and everything and bring it. Because when a soldier warrior conquers somewhere, he gets all the wealth. So Arjuna had brought in a lot of foreign exchange into that kingdom now. See, we need Arjuna today also. Because right now they say foreign exchange scarce here. So Devadattam Dhananjayaha Paundram dadmau mahashankham bhima karma vrikodaraha. Bhima blew his mighty shank, which was called as Paundram. Paundram. And Bhima is described here. He is called as the one of Bhima karma. Bhima karma was of terrible deeds. Bhima used to... Oh, terrible deeds means what? If there is any enemy there and that enemy is playing bad, they'll send Bhima there. Any bad person there, they'll send Bhima. Bhima will go there and he'll hold them and he'll rip them in two. And then he'll drink the blood from two sides. Terrible deed, that is the meaning of terrible. Bhima karma. So terrible he was. Bhim means terrible. His name means terrible. And see the next word, Vrikodaraha. Bhima's other name was Vrikodaraha. Vrikodaraha means whose belly like a wolf. I never see any belly like a wolf. Belly look like a pumpkin. But not like a wolf. Or pot. That's why in Trinidad we say pot belly. And in Trinidad we make up some new ones, so dal belly. I don't know what is that. What is dal belly and all? Dal belly means the belly shaped like a dal? Oh yeah, like half a dal would be like that, eh? Really? One man went by the doctor, and the doctor saw his belly come out like that, Belly coming out now, again, munch. So the doctor said, that is not good. Cheat. Bad. Very bad. You have to start watching your weight. So he said, okay, yes, doc, sorry, I know, I myself noticed it, So he gone, he said, I got to take care. He gone, after 2-3 months, he come back. Well, now he belly twice as big. The doctor say, I thought I'd tell you to watch your weight. He say, yes, doc, I put it on right where I go see it. Because the doctor said to watch it. At that time, it was too small, I couldn't see it that time. So here, Bhima is called as Vrikodaraha, means wolf belly. So don't think his belly was shaped like a wolf. What it means is, he could digest anything. You have some people like that, eh? In yoga, it is said there's a technique, if this technique is learnt, you can even digest stone. But those who can't digest it will go into your kidney and stay there. One man telling me, he says, Sanji, when you become old, you just get rich, because you just get precious stone in your kidney, you get silver in your hair, you get gold in your teeth, and you get gas in your belly. You get rich too bad. But these days, gas, I have no good price, so let me tell you, the amount of places I was going, the amount of things people that tell me, I don't have to read nothing anymore, I just get enough stories and jokes on the outside. If people that tell all kind of nice things. Anyway, so, Vrikodara, he could digest anything. This Bhima. And he was, on this Pandava side, he was relied on very much. They know that Bhima, if you send him there, Bhima will flatten everybody. Like Nakula Sahadevascha Sughosha Mani Pushpaka. And Nakula and Sahadev, these were the, so all the 4 of the Pancha Pandavas, their names are given here so far. Nakula and Sahadeva. So their names were Yudhishthira. Then Bhima was second. Arjuna was third only. Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, and Nakula and Sahadeva. These were the 5 of them. So Nakula and Sahadeva, they're Sughosha and Mani Pushpaka. Sughosha. Nakula blue, Sughosha. Sughosha means, again, symbolic thing. Sughosha means good pronouncement. Anything that is announced or pronounced or said, which is good, that I call as sughosha. Good announcement. In Trinidad and Tobago, we don't have no good announcement. Have you seen that? Good night, villagers. You know the announcement where we don't have, right? I only had to say the first line and you don't know the rest of them. That is not sughosha. That is called as kughosha. Kughosha means bad announcement. Somebody, that might be good for he, eh? The man who gone, he free. So Nakula's Shanka, that was called as sughosha. Means when Nakula blew, that sent a good message. We are going to win this battle. The Pandavas blowing now. So, and Mani Pushpaka. Mani Pushpaka means Sahadev's Shankar. The meanings are also so nice, all of them. His Shankar was called decorated flower. Not flower for roti. Eh? Flower means flower, this kind of flower. It was decorated with jewel. Jeweled flower. What nice name and all. Jeweled flower. Kashyascha parameshvasaha shikhandi cha maharatha drishtadhyumno viratascha satyakischa parajitaha. All of them. Drupado draupadeyascha sarvasha prithivipate saubhadrascha mahabahuhu shankhan dadmu prithak. All these names are given of all the great warriors on the Pandava side. All of them, Shankhan Dadmu, Prithak means their respective Shankas. All of them blew their respective Shankas. Who? Kashyascha Parameshvasaha, the great archer who was the king of Kashi. Shikhandi also. Then Maharatha, who was a great charioteer. Last night I told about Rati, Maharati, and Atirati and Maharati and Ati Maharati and all these things are there. Drishtadhyumna, Virataha, Satyaki, and who is described as Aparajitaha, never conquered, never having been conquered in the past. These are the type of warriors. King Drupad was there, and he was the father of Draupadi. And Draupadeyascha, and all the husbands of Draupadi. Yudhishthira's name is not yet given. Sarvasha Prithivipate, who is well known as the Sarvashaha means all of them gathered from all sides. O Prithivipate, this is our Sanjay. You have to see the Sanskrit very clearly. Sanjay referring to Dhritarashtra as Prithivipate, Lord of the earth. Saubhadrascha Mahabahuhu. Saubhadra means the sons of Subhadra. Son of Subhadra actually. Abhimanyu. This is referring to Abhimanyu. Son of Arjuna. These names and all. But the names are very significant, meaning the meanings of the names. And why I am telling this is, okay, I am taking a little bit of pain to glorify Hindu names. Because many people, they like to put all Western names and all that kind of thing. We like too much of this Western. Even my father, he liked too much of Western names, so he gave me one too. But that time is gone. There's no need for it anymore. There was a reason for it also in those days, because there was, from the other side, the colonizers and all, they had what we call a stated and open program of oppression and conversion and, that kind of thing. Reculturization. That was the policy. To deculturize and then reculturize. So this society went through a period like that. And so there was a need for those things. But now there is no need. There are so many wonderful, sweet Hindu names with such great meanings and all that we can choose for our children. That thing is long gone. And you choose names with nice meanings. I don't know what's the meaning. What is the meaning of Tom? I don't know. And Tom and Gary. Gary is a snail in SpongeBob SquarePants. Smith. Smith might have some name. Smith is like blacksmith. Some of the names may have meaning and all, right? But we don't know what are the meanings and all. But you could put such nice names for your children. So there's so many nice names given here. And there are many modern names also you can put. But anyway, all of them, their names given here, and they blew their Shankas and all. Now, on the blowing of the Shankas by the Pandavas' side, what effect did it have on these Kauravas, on Duryodhana and all of them? Oh, they only blow the Shankh, eh? In Trinidad we said, I only the smoke. See, Ved Vyasji relates. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. 19.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Saghosho dhatarashtanam hridayani vyadarayat.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Navasya priti vim jaiva tumulo vyanunadayan. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
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 Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Saghosho dhatarashtanam hridayani vedariyat. What nice words also Ved Vyasi chooses to put all of this story into. Saghosha, when those trumpets and tabors and kettle drums and all blared forth and rented the air with this tumultuous sound. Oh, it's Ved Vyasi describes here. Dhatarashtranam hridayani vyadarayat. It as though split the hearts of these Kauravas. It really rented their hearts. It brought fear into the hearts of the Kauravas. Just the Shankha and all of that. Tabors and all it. Navascha prithivim chaiva tumulo vyanunadayan. It also resounded in the space, in the sky and all, but brought great fear and shivering into the heart of the Dhatarashtrana, the sons of Dhritarashtra, like that. So, only the sound, and let me tell you one more thing. Mahatma Gandhi ji used to allude to this thing. Besides the sound or the words, it is really the principle which is behind the words. Like, for example, if you are telling, two people are standing here and there's a judge there. So one is the prosecution side and one is the defense side. And the judge is listening to both of them. Besides the word that they are speaking, it is the sentiments which are behind the words, which actually have the impact eventually on the person's mind. So the judge is listening, and if the words on one side is truthful, and the words on the other side is not truthful, the one who is speaking with the truthful words, beside the word itself, the truth which is behind the word transcends the words and transcends everything in the listener, and that truth affects his heart. The truth goes deeper into that person than the untruth. It is like if you're going to plant a banana tree, right? I don't want to sound like a teacher, how to peel cassava and all them kind of thing. I'm just telling, if you're going to plant a banana tree, and you go with a knife to dig the hole, or you go with a lushat to dig the hole, or a fork. So between the knife and the lushat, which one will have more impact in digging the hole? Lushat, you go to a knife, and that to a pen knife, to dig a hole. That will not have any impact on the earth, especially now when it's on hot. It will not go deep enough to dig this hole. So when there is truth or untruth accompanying words, those two types of sentiments, bhav, truth or untruth, and accompanying the words with truth will dig deeper into the heart of the other person. It will go deeper. So on the Pandava side, there is a value for dharma, a value for righteousness, a value for goodness, a value for faith, because they have faith in Bhagwan. There is this type of value which is accompanying the blowing of this Shankha, accompanying their every action. You see? That is there behind their actions, behind their words, behind their blowing of the Shankha. So that type of thing will certainly have a great impact on the other side. So Gandhiji used to say, there is nothing more powerful than truth. The truth on this side could have such a tremendous impact on the other side. You see? So he touched on this thing. So here, now they blew their Shankhas and all, and how it rented the hearts on the other side. Amazing. Navascha Prithivim Chaiva. Tumula means tumultus. See where it came from? Tumalaha, this word here, tumalaha, in English is tumultus. There was a great uproar in the air. Tumultus, exact word in English. So many words have come down like that. Vyanunade and the sound that followed. Now, that means to say, the Kaurava side, they are speaking of victory, but the Pandava side is not speaking of victory, but demonstrating that they are going to be victory. Because even if their Shankana could rent everybody's heart on the next side without saying anything. See what is going to happen. So this usually happens. One side speaks about victory, but the other side gets the victory. So it's good not to speak before. You always remember this thing. You go on boasting before, and all that kind of thing. So, now, this Bhagavad Gita at this point takes a turn. What is that? Arjuna, hearing all of this, and on both sides now hearing all of this, Arjuna says something to Bhagavan Shri Krishna. But he'll say tomorrow. Now, Arjuna